double from my end, but welcome to the call family. Just put it in the chat if everybody sounds okay. Does everything sound okay? Everything sounds okay. Okay. This is for sure my issue, okay? So let's just get to it. Ecan will drive you nuts for sure. For sure. All right. So look, man, shouts out to everybody that is here. Throw it in the chat where you're calling in from. I just want to know where you're calling in from. I want to know where you're calling in from. We got Jersey in the building. We got Dallas, St. Augustine, St. Louis, Dallas, Texas. What's up, Atlanta? What's happening? Conyers, what up? Nola. The Noya, no, yeah. No, yeah. Let me just not disrespect y'all. It's the Noya. You feel me? But I am really, really excited to be here. That you all are you guys are jumping on your journey to becoming not content creators, not podcasters, but change agents. We are in a strong deficit of voices. Back in the day, we had voices like your Martin Luther Kings and your Malcolm X's, and you had your Angela Davises, and you had your Mahatma Gandhis, and you had your Nelson Mandelas, and you had people who had voices. But then at some point, you had to be selected to have your voice heard, right? I mean, someone had to say you deserve to be on TV, you deserve to be on the radio, and if I don't put you in that position, your voice will not be heard. So it's not like that anymore, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm super excited that you all are going to be building your audiences, building your income, and building your influence all throughout this year and beyond. So what I love to do is I got to get out of your way because we ain't got a whole lot of time to kick this thing off. There's nobody better that I would love to have than my sister, a young lady who has changed my life in many ways, taught me how to think. We've been able to, like, truly, we are the definition of iron sharpens iron. She helps me, I help her. She helps me, I help her. She helps me, I help her. I cry, she listens. She cries, I listen. We've been able to build some amazing things together, and especially in this podcasting space, there's nobody better to teach than my sister, my partner, Miss Donni Wiggins. Donni, how are you?
Hello, I am so excited to be here. How are you?
I am absolutely incredible, man. I'm so sorry. I took 6 minutes of your time, and I felt like I'm robbing the people of 6 minutes of gold.
Oh my gosh. So I'm going to try to make it quick if it's all right that I rush through this training because I actually worked on this training and I want to make sure I hit every target. Is that all right with you guys? Is that all right with you, Dave?
The
I have
floor
a
is
hard
yours, my
7
sister.
o'clock time, stop time, right?
Let's go.
All right, let's get it. So I understand that first of all, hey everybody, I am Donni Wiggins. In the event that this is your first time ever seeing my face, I am a business coach. I am also a podcaster. I am a business coach that is a podcaster. But also I'm just a girl that is a podcaster. And I think that's so relevant for today's conversation because I was a podcaster before I was ever a podcaster. All right. Anybody on here, just drop a 1 in the chat for me real quick. If you know you have something to say, and if you had the platform to say it, you know people would be into what it is that you're saying. Just drop a 1. Maybe it was me, maybe it's a vanity metric or something like that. But I remember sitting on social media back in 2010, 2012, and I'm like, man, I really have something to say. You know what, Dave? Ironically, I remember going through my journey where I had lost everything. I'm talking about foreclosures and repossessions and bankruptcy and all the things. And I decided to beat my friends to telling my story. Meaning, I did not want anybody gossiping about the things that I had experienced or was experiencing at that time in my life. So I decided to use back then Facebook as a mini blog platform. I would talk about all the things that I had going on. I would tell people, like, hey, this is what's happening right now, but watch me work, right? And so I'd be typing because, when Facebook first came out, there were no videos. You could just type about it. So I'm typing these long novels worth of stories and I'm telling everybody about my story because I felt like if I told my story first, you can't come and lie on me. And as I started telling this story over and over and over again, and I'm taking people through the journey of then finding my first townhouse after a foreclosure, and I'm taking them through a journey of working $11 an hour after losing a six-figure job during the recession. I'm taking them through that journey of that $11 an hour job, and then taking that $11 an hour job and leveraging it to open my very first clothing store. Like, I'm taking them through this journey. And the comments that I would get all the time was, you need your own talk show. 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 And I was convinced that I was the next Oprah Winfrey. You could not tell me that I was not going to be the next Oprah Winfrey. And if that's you, just drop it in the chat. I'm really curious. When you think about becoming a voice and creating impact via the media, is there somebody that you relate to? Is it David? Is it me? Is it Earn Your Leisure? Like, who's the person? I want to know, who's the person that you're like, you know what, I'm gonna have that one day. Okay, I see Mel Robbins, I see Oprah, I see Sway, Forbes Riley, Oprah, Mel Robbins, some common themes right now, right? And so I saw myself being Oprah, and I saw myself being Oprah because at one point it was like, all she really did was talked about things that she's interested in. You couldn't put Oprah Winfrey in a box, whether she was talking to entertainers or she was talking to criminals or she was talking to people who had childhood trauma issues, whatever that was. You could not put Oprah in a box. She had curated conversations with all kinds of people, and her viewers never stopped coming. Her viewers went along for the ride no matter what direction she intended to take them. So fast forward to 2020, when I went to Social Proof Podcast as a guest. I believe I was episode 51 or 52. I never really remember the exact one, but the Social Proof Podcast was created initially to be a marketing outlet for the, what was it at that time, Dave? Oh gosh, what was the event? What was the event? What was the event? I forget what the freaking event was. It was supposed to be, was it Social Proof? It was supposed to be a marketing platform for a conference that Dave was doing at that time, many interviews. And so when it was my turn to come and do an interview, shortly after that episode was released, David said, "Hey, you should come and host this podcast with me. You should come on board and do this with me, sis." He pulled the sis card out, right? Because we have been in partnership with, many of you guys don't know, is that David and I have been in partnership in different businesses since 2015. The Social Proof Podcast and my journey started in 2020. And so he came and he's like, "You should do this. You should do this." And I said, "David, I don't know anything about podcasting." At that time, I had never even watched a podcast before, Tracy. Like, what is a podcast? What are we even talking about here? Who's about to sit on the internet and watch a bunch of people talk about stuff? Like, that's really what it was. And Dave said to me, he said, "Donni, just come and film a couple of episodes and let's just see how it goes." And then I realized that I was already a podcaster. The moment he put that microphone in front of me, I said, "Wait a minute. I had already been doing this on Facebook. Wait a minute. I'd already been telling these stories and sharing my thoughts on Facebook. Hold on. This is sounding very familiar. You mean to tell me that people are going to be plugged in to things that I am saying based on my interests, based on my area of expertise? Do you mean to tell me people are going to be interested in talking about scaling a business and starting a business? Do you mean to tell me people are going to be interested in mindset techniques and meditation and health and wellness and all the things? Do you mean to tell me that as I grow in my own life, I can shift the conversation just like Oprah Winfrey did and start talking to Tracy? You laughing at me or you feel me? You laughing at me or you feel me? Because I was literally blown away. She says she's been talking people's ears off since she could talk. And if you stay ready, you never have to get ready. I realized that 3 years before joining the Social Proof Podcast, I had written a book. I wrote this book called Make Shift Happen Now, and I was challenged by an organization to write this book very clearly. And you know where I went to get the contents of what I would put in this book in a 24-hour time frame? I went straight to my Facebook page. I went straight to my Facebook page, and I went back and scrolled back to the beginning of my journey, and I looked at all of the things that I had posted. I copied and pasted them into a document, and then I sorted things that were similar in topic, right? And that is how I put my book together. I was already an author. I was just doing it on social media for free. I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this because today I want you to really understand that you are already podcasters. You're already podcasters. And the story that I'm going to tell you, the lesson that I'm going to be giving you today is about you leveraging your own personal brand through podcasting, because that's literally what David has done. That's literally what I have done. And we have had the opportunity to build multiple seven-figure businesses at this point as a result of leveraging our personal brands through podcasts. See, here's the thing. Most people think that you get a microphone and suddenly you're a podcaster. You get a microphone, you turn your camera on, you post your video to YouTube or Red Circle, and now you're a podcaster. You're actually fit to be a podcaster the very moment that you decide to start using your voice to create content. The very moment that you say, I am going to use my voice. So if you are a person who shares your opinions on social media, guess what? You are qualified to be a podcaster. If you are a person that types the funny or engaging or sexy captions on your Instagram platform, you are already fit to be a podcaster. So I could be talking to the wrong group of people, but I want you to just type that's me or me. Just type me in the chat if you're already sharing information. It's just not in front of a camera. If you're already sharing information, it's just not on a mic. If you're already having conversations with people and they're engaged in the things that you want to talk about, just type me, type me, type me, type me, type me. If you feel like, well, I haven't had anything of value to say to anybody ever, so I don't know if I'm in the right place, type no. If you feel like maybe you're not in the right place because you've never said a word of value, we need to pull you to the side, all right? You might be in the wrong place. But for those of you who commented me, for those of you who are already having the conversations, y'all, it doesn't matter if you talk about business or relationships or you're talking about aliens invading McDonald's. There is an audience fit for whatever you decide to use your voice for whatever you decide to use your voice for. You're already fit to be a podcaster, all right? So now you have to understand that if you've ever had something to say, and if what you've said has created impact or interest or engagement, you're already a podcaster. Usually the disconnect comes in you not having systems and things perfectly set up already. Yeah, you're waiting for perfection. You want your background to look like me and Dave's background. You want the LED lights. You want the big Sony cameras. You can't use your iPhone. You need a team. You need all the things. Y'all, when David and I initially started working together on Social Proof Podcast, Dave had the recording board that we use to adjust the sound and all the things sitting right in front of us a little bit off camera. And he would get up, press record, and then run back to his chair real quick. And he'd have to edit that part out the whole time. In the beginning, Social Proof's team was me and David. Social Proof's team was Donni and David literally figuring it out, watching other people's podcasts, reading all the information that we could on podcasting. All we knew is that we had something to say. All we knew is that we had something of value to offer. All we knew is that we had an interest in something and we wanted other people to be able to share in that interest with us. So for us, it wasn't about being perfect. It was about being present. For us, it wasn't about being perfect. It was about being consistent. When we first got started, I think we were dropping like 3 or 4 episodes a week, and there was no real time frequency there. We were doing like 3 or 4 episodes a week. You couldn't really tell when we would drop an episode. We just knew that we would drop a lot of them before we started to actually pay attention to these things called stats and data and analytics and realized we didn't have to work that hard necessarily, right? So then we went away from being present everywhere all the time randomly to being present consistently. being present consistently. And so the first thing for you guys that I want you to document is, what is your transparent story around your area of interest? What is the thing that makes you interested in whatever that topic is that you want to talk about on your podcast? What is your connectivity to it? What is your connectivity to it? See, I was able to build my personal brand through podcasting by being very relatable and transparent with my audience. My audience feels like they know so much about my life, even though I am an open book. There's some invisible ink on my pages. So that means that you don't get to know things that I don't want you to know. But what I have done is crafted and curated the story, the parts of the story that I want you to know. So you know what my connection is to entrepreneurship. You know that at one time I lost everything. You know that I got fired from what I thought was a really good job at one point, and I had to make ends meet when we know ends don't ever really meet, right? I had to figure it out. And I believe that I believe that employment from one source could never be my way of life again. You know that story. And so what I want you to do is to identify what your connectivity is to your area of interest. What's the emotional pull? What's the reason you're so interested? Why must you get this message out? And in the beginning of your podcast journey, when you start recording, I want you to have at least 30 seconds prepared to tell people why all the time. You guys, I am so excited to be here on the Social Proof Podcast. My name is Donni Wiggins, and I have to tell you everything I know about entrepreneurship because it absolutely saved my life. I'm talking about, I had a 6-year-old daughter, was going through the middle of a foreclosure, a repossession, a bankruptcy, all at the same time. How do you lose everything at the same time? I did. But I know that there's a better way than the way that I was currently in that process. So I want to share it with you. That being said, today we're going to talk about growing your business. Make sense? Make sense? Somebody commented straw. And when I saw straw, I did everything but go in the bank with a gun. All right. I did everything but had access to the gun. When I tell you that I was deeply connected to that story because it felt like my life, that's another reason why you have to believe that you're already a podcaster. See, that person, the person who wrote Straw, who had that idea, who had that experience, they're already movie stars. They're already the subject matter for a movie. So you can absolutely be a content creator in that same way. In the same way, all you have to do is show up and you have to teach. Show up and you have to share. Don't worry about the algorithm. You are the algorithm. You are the algorithm. Podcasting allows for people to connect with you on demand, which is something that I love. Let me share this with you. So in 2020, I was going through a career change. I've been heavily invested in the network marketing industry, building my business as a business coach and entrepreneur on the side. And I was going through the process of transitioning out of the network marketing industry. I wanted to own all of the business that I built, not just a percentage of it. But one of my concerns, honestly, was that I made a lot of money in network marketing and I did not know how I would easily and quickly make the switch. Well, I would soon find out that as soon as I started podcasting and sharing my area of expertise, doing it consistently and doing it passionately, I started to build an audience of people who built the know, like, trust factor with me on demand. There was almost zero waiting period. See, it doesn't matter if you're talking to 50 people or 500 people or 5,000 people or 500,000 people on your podcast. See, when Social Proof Podcast came out, we started the YouTube channel with 0 followers, like many of you will. There wasn't 600,000 followers. A lot of times you don't see yourself in this position because you're comparing it to where we are 5 years later. But in order to be fair to yourself, you have to compare it to your start or to our start. In order to be really, really fair, it has to be apples to apples, right? It has to be apples to apples. You cannot compare what David and I have built over the last 5 years to your first 5-minute start. It's just not fair, right? It's just not fair. You have to understand who you want to be in the podcasting space, right? Especially if you're looking to build a personal brand. So as we're going through the podcast journey, it didn't take me long to realize, wait a minute, I'm a personality just like Oprah Winfrey, just like Ellen DeGeneres, just like Arsenio Hall, just like all of them, right? But now I have to craft what that personality is. What are the things that I value most, right? And what do I want to share? Here's 3 words for you. The very first thing is your personality. How are you planning to show up? Are you funny? Are you entertaining? Are you serious? Are you a mixture of all the things? These are the 3 layers of personal branding, personal brand building through podcasting. The very first thing is, what is your personality type? How do you want to be seen and received on your podcast? Okay. The second thing is your perspective. What is the perspective that your personal brand will represent? So when it came to David and I on the Social Proof podcast, we had to have a strong stand for and advocacy for entrepreneurship. We could not care what people who had, standard 9 to 5s would think. We couldn't care that this content isn't for someone who doesn't want to be an entrepreneur. We have to teach our perspective. We have to stand on something and teach our perspective. We couldn't falter for views. We couldn't worry about it and say, these people won't feel it, so let me have conversations for everybody. It had to be sharing what our actual perspective is. And then number 3 is your presence. How consistently can your audience count on you to show up? How consistently can your audience count on you to show up? And when you show up, how do you make people feel? This is very important. We identified this very early. These are things that we identified through trial and error. These are things that we realize happen in hindsight. These are things that I'm sharing with you today that you don't have to figure out through trial and error. You get it up front so you know going into your podcast what you should be looking for. Not only is it about how consistently you show up, it's also about how you want your audience to feel when you are showing up. How do you want your audience to feel when you are showing up? So when we went really, really hard and committed to Social Proof Podcast, I wanted the audience to see David and I as advocates for entrepreneurship, authorities, not experts, authorities in our space, which meant that we were open to learn. We were highly inquisitive. We wanted to learn information, but we know a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to entrepreneurship. And we also wanted to leave our audience having bigger belief that they could do something. Bigger belief that they could do something. So when it comes to your presence, not only how consistently do you show up, because that's very important. If people are expecting to see you every Wednesday morning, you got to show up. And how do you want them to feel when they are consuming your information? How do you want them to feel when they're consuming your information? Here's what I learned about podcasting. No matter how much money people spend in paid marketing and how many years people spend building a know, like, and trust factor, podcasting is really the only platform where people will give you 20 to 30 plus minutes of their undivided attention, and trust builds in minutes, not in months. So when I tell you I needed to make a career shift and I had to make one very, very quickly back in 2020, I literally was able to build trust with people in minutes and not months. And here's the thing. In the very beginning, people didn't like me very much. They thought that David was the only person that should have been on the Social Proof podcast because I was episode like 51 or 52. They had gotten used to seeing David on that platform by himself. So they didn't understand what my value was. They just thought I was a pretty face showing up, acting like a know-it-all. They didn't understand that I'm the best business coach in the world, but they soon found out, right? But even though there were dozens of comments, Bernadette, of people saying, get rid of her. She doesn't belong. Who does she think she is? She has a smart mouth. Even though the comments were consumed with them to the point where I told David, like, hey, I'm out. I don't need this. And you don't need this. You keep building this podcast and let me go on about my business because I don't want to blow this for you. And David said, no, no, no. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep going. Even though the comments were flooded at that time with negative perspective about what I brought to the podcast, there was still a small percentage of people who wanted to do business with me. There was still a small percentage of people who wanted to connect with me. Yep, people fear change, they hate change, whatever the excuse was. But I decided in that moment that I wasn't worried about them. I was building a personal brand, and my personal brand is built on the people who connect with me, who are aligned for me, who are assigned to me, not the people who have negative things to say. And you building a brand based on your personal brand, you will have people who have some negative things to say, and it will make you want to quit. It will make you second guess yourself. It will make you wonder if you're delivering the right message. You have to stay committed. You have to stay committed. You have to be ready to start ugly. You have to be ready to start scared. But through starting ugly and starting scared, the important thing to do is be consistent. See, as you start podcasting, episode 3 is more important than episode 1. Because episode 3 proves that you're in it to win it. Episode 10 is more important than episode 3 because in episode 10, I can see how serious you are. I can now say, instead of just coming to check to see if you uploaded a new episode, let me actually subscribe to the channel. And then after I subscribe to the channel, now that you've done episode 25, let me turn notifications on for her. Let me turn notifications on for him, right? Every single episode that you put out on your podcast is a virtual business card. It lasts forever. It's a digital business card that will last forever. And then you can take that business card and you can deliver it in multiple different ways, like I did. You can take that long YouTube video, you can turn it into YouTube shorts, you can turn that into Instagram reels, you can turn that into carousels, you can turn that into quotes, you can download some of those episodes and create ebooks and courses and workshops and all the things from it. And now we're talking about building a personal brand. Now we're talking about building a personal brand. Your voice, as I wrap this up, because Dave is really on time, your voice is really somebody's breakthrough. And even though in my journey, there were seasons where, and still seasons, where people don't enjoy my voice so much because I'm too this or too that, or not enough of this or not enough of that, I understand. I receive so many DMs and messages and so much feedback that tells me that my voice is someone's breakthrough. And no matter what your subject matter is, your voice will be someone's breakthrough. There are people right now who are Googling questions that your story already has the answer to. And it's very important that you're ready to share that story. My good friend has a platform in the movie industry, and she's always talking about create, don't wait. And this is my call to action for you. Stop waiting to be discovered. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for what feels right to you. Stop waiting for all of the pieces of the puzzle to be ready before you start putting that puzzle together. Stop waiting for somebody to come in and support you. Stop waiting for people to say you need to do X, Y, and Z. Stop waiting on the partner. Stop dragging people along. Stop, 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 stop. You get out there and you start with your podcast and you publish yourself. You create your own opportunities yourself. You create your own table, and every single seat at that table is yours if you want it to be. You get on there, you use your voice, you leverage your voice, you turn it over into a personal brand, and you win. The end. Thank you guys for having me here. Dave, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all? Oh my, nah. Hey, Donnie, I want to say hey, throw some fireballs in the chat. If Donnie got you ready, if she got you ready to stop putting shackles on your voice, if you're ready to go, listen, I watched Donnie relentless. What's the word? Kind of.
Relentlessly?
No. What's the word? You kind of hesitating,
I did.
reluctantly. I
Reluctantly.
watched Donnie reluctantly say, okay, well, I don't really see how this whole podcasting thing works out. And she turned her brand up so crazy. And when she launched her own podcast, she made her first 6 figures in a few weeks.
Yep.
Why? Because she already had a skill set from a previous skill set. She's like, I'm a coach. I understand this stuff. But once I get my hands on this thing,
Yep.
Donnie,
It was
you are
immediate.
absolutely incredible, man.
It was immediate. It was instant. And Dave, like throughout this week that you spend with this group, y'all have to know this isn't fluff. Y'all are here because you saw it. You got to see the journey. We're not strangers to you. You got to see the journey. And if you're questioning anything, is that true? Is it not? Go back to 2020 and look at that very first episode. Then go back to 2022 when you saw David and I make our first million together, right? And then go back
Uh-huh.
to 2023 when you saw David and I buy $1 million building. And then go back
Come
about a
on.
couple weeks ago when you saw us sell that $1 million building for a 100% profit. Podcasting did all of that. Podcasting set us up for all of that. And there's nothing different about you and me and David except we hit record every single week.
Donni Wiggins. Donni Wiggins, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Donni. I appreciate it, man. And I will see you at Podcast Summit. Goodness gracious. Y'all ready? Y'all good? Y'all all right? Somebody throw it in the chat. Give me a takeaway. Give me a takeaway in the chat. Give me a takeaway. I want to know that you are not just listening. I want to know that you are locked in. You got your notes. Throw a takeaway in the chat. Let's get this party started. Listen, I'm about to get going. And I created a presentation because over the last few months, I was looking to answer every single question that you had in this 5 days. So I've studied you. I've studied you as my ideal audience. So hopefully you guys do the same thing. You study your audience and you solve a problem for this group of people. So I'm about to get into it, and you guys will see a timeline of this thing and how it happened. We're going to be super transparent tonight. So let's get started. Let me share my screen. Bow.
Hey, Dave,
Okay.
really
Yes.
quick, before we get started, we got something for the people though.
Talk to me.
Really quick, before we get started, y'all, whether you are on YouTube, whether you are here live in the Zoom, we have an engagement contest for you guys. We have a contest for y'all.
Ooh.
So every single night, you guys, I need you to pay close attention to the information that's given to you from David and the guest speakers, y'all, because every night after David does his talk, after the guests do their talk, there is going to be a quiz that you guys can take. And it's going to be on the information that's given to y'all. So you got to
I
pay
like that.
attention, take your notes, because guess what? We got 2 winners every single night. Every
Let's
single
go.
night. One winner from VIP, one winner from general admission, and the daily prizes. If you are in VIP, you could potentially win $50. If you are in
Just by
general
listening.
admission, if you're in general admission, the winner gets a free VIP upgrade. Y'all,
Come on.
it's lit. So pay
Come on.
attention. David, back to you, sir.
Let's go. Let's go. Listen, we're gonna give you a couple dollars just for listening. We're gonna pay for lunch just for you changing your own life. Hey, somebody put 50 in the chat if you about to manifest that you about to get to 50. Like you already know you about to get to 50. Let's go. All right, let's get this party started. Here we go. Team, can you let me know? Is my screen good? We're straight. We can see. Okay, we see this, the Launch Your Podcast Challenge. Now let's jump into this thing, y'all. Here we go. All right, let me tell you the main purpose. The main purpose of this presentation is for you to stop being the best kept secret in your field. You are so incredible. You are so special. You have a message for the world, but nobody knows about it but you and a few people. But in 5 days, you're going to discover how to build your podcast platform, attract your ideal audience, and become the voice. Somebody put the voice. Become the voice everyone turns to in your particular niche. You are that voice for the homeless. You are that voice for underserved communities. You are that voice for women. You are that voice for mothers. You are that voice for those who have been addicted. You are that voice for people who've parents, they let them out to dry and they had to get it on their own. You are that voice for that person who has lost half of a person. And there are some people that have lost hundreds of pounds, and there are people who hold that weight that believe they can't do it. So you are going to be that voice. But in these 5 days, you are going to be the go-to voice. So here we go. So some of your favorite podcasters were started under our training. Let me see. I can't. Okay, let me get this right. Hold on. Let me get right real quick. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I got you. All right. Nikki and Moose podcast, absolutely crushing it. Circle of Greatness podcast, Nehemiah Davis. He called me super nervous, like, yo, I'm going to start my podcast back up. He just did a video. He just did an interview that got like 200 something thousand views from someone who's not a celebrity that you probably never heard of. And is your first introduction. Super proud of my brother. The Serendipity podcast with Inky Johnson, Full Transparency podcast with Donni Wiggins, the Next Level Living podcast, the Human Behavior Mastery podcast, Rich and Unemployed, the Social Proof podcast, the Secrets to Success podcast with Eric Thomas. We're sharing this with you because I'm not the only person who's launched a successful podcast and made $1 million from it. And I'm sharing this with you because we have a formula for what we do. We have a formula. Somebody put formula in the chat. We have a formula for what we do. And we're going to teach you this formula. This training is for you. And some of us have been on the webinar, right? But this goes a lot deeper tonight. This if you stay to the end, this will change your life forever. That's my guarantee for you. So this training is for you if you want to monetize your personality, you want to build a community that knows your voice. You want to make consistent money from your business. You're that person that people come to for advice anyway. You just haven't figured out a way to make some money from it. This training is for you. But before we officially kick off this week, let me introduce myself. My name is David Shands. That's my beautiful wife, Andrea. I'm not all that cute. I just got charisma. I got Riz. You feel me? I met my wife. Cool story. I met my wife on Tinder. I didn't know Tinder was what Tinder is and what they be doing on Tinder because I'm saved. You feel me? I don't be on there out here in these streets. But I met my wife on there and I met her on Tinder. 6 months later, I proposed to her. 2 days later, we were married. That was 3 kids and almost 7 years ago. So I say that to say, for those that's on the sick and shut-in list of the relationships, there's hope, okay? 6 months can change your life. The swipe of a person can change your life forever. That's my son, Salmi. He's 2 years old. The other little one, that's Saraj, she's 4 years old. Corey in the middle, she's 14. I adopted her from my daughter, and that is my beautiful wife, Andrea. Let's get this party started. Goal for this training is to reveal the podcast formula that's helped myself, along with many other people, build a large brand and provide for our families. We're going to give you step-by-steps on exactly what we did. But first, let me tell you how I became a multimillionaire from podcasting. This is me working at the Cheesecake Factory. It's not my son. The young lady at the front desk, she had a son, didn't have a male role model. So I kind of took to him. Now, this was 10 years ago. Me working at the Cheesecake, well, over 10 years ago. It's about 2012, 2013. This is me working at the Cheesecake Factory. Used to wear all white, which is the stupidest thing working in a restaurant. But my life looked the same year after year, day after day. I was there for 6 years, family. Let me tell you the story and I'll keep going. I'm at the Cheesecake Factory. I'm at the bread station. I'm cutting bread for my tables. Young lady comes up to me and says, "Hey, David, where do you want to go for your birthday? Because I know your birthday's coming up." I said, I never really thought about it. She says, "Yo, let's go back to the club that we went to last year. Everybody came out. Everybody had a good time. Let's go back to it." I say, cool, no problem. She says, cool. I'll go tell everybody this weekend out for your birthday. We're going to the club. We're all going to chip in on a bottle, which looks crazy, y'all, when it's like 8 people that all chip in on one bottle and we all take pictures holding that one bottle. It looks crazy. But I'm like, cool, this is what we're going to do. And I don't know if y'all ever had that feeling of, you ever watch a TV show where something happens and then the whole background gets dark and there's a light on the main character and the soft music starts to play and that character starts to reflect on what's happening. That happened to me. And I had this epiphany. I said, whoa, I'm about to celebrate my birthday at the same place with the same people from the same job that I had last year, which is nothing wrong with that, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. However, when I went out to my car to realize, okay, I got to get something to wear, I realized I need to get new clothes because I don't have any new, I don't have any clothes. My closet looks the same. I live in the same place. I drive the same raggedy car with that same bottle of water in the back seat. And some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Some of you can relate with that. But anybody had to drive with a bottle of water in the back seat? It just sits there. No, don't drink that. You can't drink that water right there. But it's there. So some of y'all know. It was copy and paste, day in, day out, day in, day out. I get in my car and I drive to the ATM. Let me tell you what happens. I go into the ATM. I take my tips from the night. I made $247 that night in tips. I was excited because my birthday's coming up. I had a good day. I put the $247 in the ATM. They give me my card back. The ATM prints out a receipt, and the ATM receipt says that my balance is $103. Some of y'all grew up different than us. So you're like, hold on, David, that doesn't make sense. If you put $247 in the bank, it's $240. You have at least $247. Anybody know what's happening here? Does anybody know what's happening here? Does anybody understand how it could possibly you can put more money in the ATM, but your bank balance is less? Come on, somebody feels me here. Now, this wasn't so bad. This wasn't a bad occurrence. Why? Because I've been here before. I'm used to this. But I had a feeling of deja vu. And I realized that this happens way too often. And it could be me tripping, but I feel like around my birthday, around that same time last year, I felt like the same exact thing happened. I said to myself, something has to change. I can't keep copy and pasting every single day and every day looks the same. I say to myself, something is wrong here. I realized that I literally could have been hit by a bus, laying in a coma in a vegetable state, and nothing for a year. I could have been laying in a coma for a year. Nothing changed in 12 months but my age. Could have woke up from a coma. Everything's the exact same in my life but my age. I said something has to change. I'm trying to paint a picture on how you have to do something different. Listen, I promise you, over the next 4 days, we're going to tell you exactly what cameras to get, exactly what type of lights, how to shoot it to make it look good, the AI tools that you need, how you're going to make some money, how to build your brand, how should you have a co-host? We're going to tell you all of that stuff. But if you don't grasp what I'm saying right now, it is going to be very difficult for you to succeed, period. Something has to change. But I finally had this idea. I had this idea that I'm gonna start selling these t-shirts. Because I had this idea, I was like, yo, I could have been asleep for a year, woke up, been in the same situation. I started a t-shirt brand called Sleep. It's for suckers, geared towards entrepreneurship and anyone that's losing sleep doing what they love. So while I'm working at the Cheesecake Factory, I'm building this t-shirt brand. And eventually I was able to leave because I calculated if I can make $4,000 a month, all I have to do is sell 200 t-shirts. I can replace my income and I can leave my job. Listen, some people look at me like, oh, Dave, you've been successful for a long time. But no, what? It took me almost 3 years to quit my job, but I figured it out. Some of us start our podcast for 3 months and quit. It took me 3 years to get off of that job. You think in 3 months you're going to make enough money to quit your job when it took you 20 years to get in the situation that you're in. I'm just saying, we have to have patience. I figured this thing out over 3 years. But more importantly, I kept the commitment to myself because I told myself I would leave that job, but I was still stuck. That was the challenge. So I replaced my job's income, and I was making money, but it didn't equate to financial freedom. Any of my entrepreneurs here, you are a full-time entrepreneur, and on the outside looking in, because you make 6 figures in your business, people think you have 6 figures in your bank account. And you don't. It don't work like that. Still struggling. So I went and got a coach. Went and got a mentor, stopped by my mentor's office to get some advice. This is 2015. I brought my little team. I wasn't paying them either, but they believed in the mission, and I brought them to see my coach, CJ. This is December 9th, 2015, and you guys will hear from CJ too. I thought I had to be homeless to be successful. So let me take you back. This is CJ. CJ is the right-hand man to motivational speaker Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas was homeless. He ate out of trash cans, high school dropout, took him forever to get a 4-year degree. And because of that story, I thought I had to be homeless to be successful. Why? Because I don't have a story of going from nothing to something. We had a house with grass. We had a backyard, little sidewalk. It's the grass, sidewalk, strip. I grew up extremely average. I don't have the hardship. So if I'm being honest, y'all think I'm being funny, but I thought I would never be successful because I don't have a why. So I actually tried to be a motivational speaker. And what he told me was, he said, bruh, let me hear what you got. So I showed him this video of me being a motivational speaker. And he said, bruh, I'm actually less motivated after that. Because listen, I got angry at my wife one time and she couldn't believe it. She almost like giggled a little bit. Because when I get angry, it's not like, because I was like, you gotta succeed. If you want to succeed, see, it looks dumb. You feel me? You really gotta start your podcast. If you want to be successful, you gotta wake up every single day. It looks dumb. It just looks dumb. I'm just not good at that. So I was like, dang, I'll never be successful not being myself. Well, he actually told me I could be myself. He said, David, you are not a motivational speaker. Stop trying to be one. One thing you are really good at is asking questions. You ask really good questions. And I'm like, well, you think so? He said, yeah. He said, bro, I'm just curious. I just wanted to know. So I actually started this podcast. Barring the faith of my coach, I started the podcast and I found out that it was okay to be me. Somebody put that in the chat. It's okay to be me. Some of you may be a little older and you're saying, well, who wants to listen to me how I am? No. I got to talk fast and I got to really be inspirational. I got to be motivational and I got to do what everybody else is doing. I'm telling y'all, and it sounds dumb, like, oh, you thought you had to be homeless. You must be. No, I wasn't joking. But he let me know that it was okay to be me. And then a couple years later, I opened this studio with a couple partners. That didn't work out. But I started this podcast. Listen, the only difference between me and everybody else was I stayed consistent. Opened this studio and we just never really made any money, but I started building my podcast out of it. The only difference between me and you is between me and everyone else was I just stayed consistent. I just don't stop. Somebody just put don't stop. Listen, do y'all know how long it takes to get good at something? Check this out. Episode 3 was this guy. Episode 3 was my man, G. Bryant. He built this multi-million-dollar fitness business. I'm like, oh, it's about to be super up. But guess what? I stayed consistent. G. Bryant did not give me my big break. Episode 5, I interviewed DJ Infamous. Now, DJ Infamous at the time is on every radio station in Atlanta, DJing. Well, he's on V103, so he's on a radio station in Atlanta and DJing every hot club in Atlanta. So I entered, and he's the tour DJ for Ludacris, the most successful person that I knew. I'm like, oh, surely this is gonna blow up because who has this interview? It didn't go viral. Episode 16, I interviewed Desi Banks. Desi Banks has millions of followers. Now, he had a lot of followers. He had maybe 1 million or 2 million when I interviewed him. I'm like, oh, surely this is going viral. Nobody's interviewed this brother. And when he came on, he was like super nervous, kind of in his shell because he didn't do any interviews. It's like his first interview. I'm like, ooh, this is going to get me a brand deal. Nothing happened. Episode 27, I interviewed A.D. Dolphin, who's a multimillionaire. He has a company called D Herbs. And he was actually the resident health coach for Steve Harvey at the time. And I'm like, A.D. Dolphin He's right next to Steve Harvey. People look at Steve Harvey, they look at him, and they want to see the story of how he's changing people's lives through health. Viral. It didn't go viral. Episode 36, I interviewed E.T., the hip hop preacher. He didn't even do a lot of interviews at this time. And we went to his hotel room. The lighting's bad, but I'm like, oh, this is the one. That wasn't the one. Nothing happened. I'm like, yo, did you see my interview with E.T.? They're like, what? No. You interview E.T.? I'm like, it's right on YouTube. Just check it out. And all these interviews got a couple hundred views. But I stayed consistent. Somebody put consistent on the chat. Somebody put consistent in the chat. But guess what? Melvin Nunnery, remember that. Episode 42. Somebody put 42 in the chat. Somebody put 42 in the chat. I want y'all to remember this number. Episode 42, interviewed this guy, and I did the title that said Another Black Billionaire, because he said he sold a portion of his company to China, which technically makes him a billionaire. Now, rest in peace, he passed away a few years ago. But this episode was so special, and I said, oh, this is incredible. That's not the one that went viral. However, episode 54, I interviewed a person by the name of Wall Street Trapper. Anybody know Trap? Did episode 54. The game changed for me. But the episode I did with Trap, it brought in some traffic, but that actually triggered the virality of episode 42 with Melvin Nunnery. I need y'all to understand. Okay. Some of us do a podcast and we think that's the one that's going viral. At the time that I did Melvin Nunnery's podcast, nothing happened. A couple hundred views. I did Wall Street Trappers episode 54. And people start watching it. I got a couple thousand views from Wall Street Trapper. But guess what happened? Episode 42 started going crazy. I saw episode 42 go from a couple hundred to a couple thousand to 10,000 to 20,000 to 30,000 to 50,000 to 60,000. At this time, Wall Street Trappers episode got 2,000. It went to 80,000 to 90,000, 100,000. Melvin called me, said, yo, congratulations. I said, on what? He said, I'm the first episode you got to hit a 200,000 mark. It took me 54 episodes to get an interview that was engaging enough for people to go back and think that the one I did on 42 was special. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you the philosophy. I'm going to tell you what type of cameras and lights and mics and all that kind of stuff. But I need you to understand, you have to put your best foot forward every single episode, because you don't know what episode is going to be the one that hits. And you're not going to know what episode the people, when they come from that special episode, what episode they're going to go watch. And that's where the money came from. Imagine if I stopped at 42. Or imagine if Wall Street Trapper was episode 3. Okay. Yeah, you guys understand what I'm saying? If you get it, say, I get it. I just want to know that you're with me. If you get it, say, I get it. These are real facts. That was episode 54 that I interviewed Trap. 42 starts going crazy. Episode 57, I interviewed my sister, Donni Wiggins. I interviewed her as a guest, Donni Wiggins. I didn't know that this would be my co-host. She didn't know that she would be my co-host. No one knew that she'd be my co-host. But we were consistent. I knew we were going to put out episodes, and it took me 57 episodes for me to find somebody that I rock with, and we said, oh, this is going to be a thing. And I said, Donni, you should be my co-host on the podcast. She said, what's a podcast? I said, the thing we just did. It was the interview. She said, you want me to interview people too? I said, no. We just go to sit on there and we're going to talk about stuff around entrepreneurship because we have really engaging conversations. She said, cool. A couple episodes in, they hated her in the comments. They was like, yo, who is this? And why is she smiling at that married man like that? David, why would you get that woman on there and you married? I'm like, hold on. This is my friend. And we're just talking entrepreneurship. And then eventually she became more popular than me and took all my fans. So that's okay. Can I show you some receipts real quick? Because I believe it's important to show some receipts, because one decision to start a podcast created an incredible income and lifestyle. Y'all remember my bank account was $103 after I put in $247. But this is just a screenshot from 2024, all of January 2024. These are advertisers that I did ad readings for that they sent me the money. Collective sent me $750 twice in that month. Rosetta Stone, I did an ad read for $38. Rosetta Stone sent me another $1,700. Kajabi sent me $1,700. NetSuite sent me almost $7,000. Look at this. I did a ad read for Capital One and Discover. Capital One gave me $4,400. Discover gave me $6,400. I really like Discover more. You know what I mean? But you can see this is life-changing income all in 1 month. Bruh, I used to make $40,000 a year working at the Cheesecake Factory. If you calculate it, this is over that. Y'all remember my copy and paste lifestyle back in 2010. Things have changed. And now I take trips with my wife. This is, I don't know where that's at. We was in Jamaica. We took a private plane, which I don't recommend. It looks really, really cool. That video that we went on a private plane actually went viral, but I don't like getting on planes because it feels like a roller coaster, but you're like 1,000,000 feet in the air. I don't like it. It looks cool for pictures though, but I'm not getting on no more private planes. I'll tell you that right now. We've been in Jamaica, Mexico. We take the family to Disney, which I don't like Disney either because it'd be mad hot outside. The kids love it. I'm just venting to y'all right now. But we've created an incredible lifestyle because I decided to be myself. I'm nothing special, y'all. I just decided to be myself. Because one decision to start a podcast changed everything. So remember that one studio I said I got and it wasn't making any money? Well, we moved into a bigger studio. Now, this is the studio that we in. I got it in 2020. We actually opened it in 2022. But that's not even the best part, that I opened the studio. The best part is that I paid for it. Cash. I own this building free and clear. $1.4 million worth of equity in this building right now. But what I did was, this was my strategy. I took the money from podcasting and continued to pour it into this building. I just kept putting it in. I didn't buy a Lambo. I didn't buy a chain. Okay, I got a little baby chain with my kids' names on it. It's nothing crazy. But I didn't buy no multi-billion-dollar house. And I took the money and I continued to invest it. Because one decision to start a podcast. Because of that one decision, I met Terica Lynn Smith. We partnered in her business and in real estate. And now I own over 100 properties now because I made one decision to start a podcast. Interviewed Terica, we partnered on real estate, and now I own over 100 properties because of one decision to start a podcast. I met Wall Street Trapper. He showed me how to leverage stocks. I have over $250,000 in the stock market right now because of one decision to start a podcast. Because of one decision to start a podcast, I met Donni, interviewed her. She became my co-host and my business partner. We just partnered on a real estate deal and made over $500,000 on a recent closing 2 weeks ago. Because of one decision to start a podcast. Because of one decision to start a podcast. I met Nehemiah Davis. We partnered in business. Neo and I have made millions together. Because I decided to start a podcast. The relationships that you are going to create because you invite someone to sit down with you is bigger than the money that you're going to make from ads. Do you guys understand? If you get me, say, put some fireballs in the chat if you get me. If you understand what I'm saying to you. If I meet you in the streets right now, you'll say, hey, Dave, man, love your podcast. I do it all the time. They're like, yo, let me take a picture. Psh, take a picture. Cool. But from here on out, when you see somebody that you admire, you're going to be like, yo, I got this podcast and nobody's ever told the story the way you told the story. I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to tell you this story. I'm in a suit store and I see Mike Epps. And Mike Epps is one of the funniest people in the world to me. I see Mike Epps and I'm like, Mike, man, I'm a big fan. He said, man, I appreciate it, bro. Just here, just trying to get a suit, man. I said, Mike, can I get you on my podcast? He said, man, I don't be doing no podcast, man. They always want me to do, what was the character he played in Friday? Dang, it slipped my mind. They always want me to be the bull. What's his name? What's his name? Yeah, Day Day. They always want me to talk like Day Day, and they want me to talk about the Richard Pryor movie. And I'm like, Mike, that's just it, bro. It took a certain level of genius to get to the level that you're at right now. And I don't think anyone's ever explored that. Mike, I'm a big fan. I've seen pretty much every movie you've been in, but I don't know how you got here. I know you got a big break and Ice Cube gave you but Mike, no one's ever really uncovered that brilliance. He said, man, what's the name of your podcast, man? I said, Social Proof Podcast, man. I would love to get you on the show. He said, man, what's your number? He took my number and texted me. He said, man, that's my number, man. Hit me up. Now, I am super irresponsible. I dropped the ball. I didn't reach out to him because I think it was around Podcast Summit last year, because that's why I was in there getting a suit for it. Then I was like, maybe it's too late to hit him up. But it happened. I got his number and he got mine. And you know what? I'm just going to text. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to text him tomorrow. And I'm going to show y'all tomorrow. I text Mike Epps and see if he hit me back. Like, remember a couple years ago we met in the store? Question, does it seem impossible to happen from one platform? Does it seem impossible that you can build this lifestyle from one platform? Let me show you somebody who had one platform. Her name is Oprah. That one platform turned into a net worth of $3.1 billion. Let me tell you this, though. Oprah became wealthy by asking a bunch of questions and not having all the answers. But here's the twist, plot twist. Essentially, she became more wealthy than all the people that had all the answers. I don't know. Maybe I don't follow sis like I follow sis. Because I watch her interviewing a bunch of people. And she's just the interviewer. And they're celebrities. And they're big dogs. And they're making all this money. But she asked enough questions while they gave the answers and became more successful than all the people that she interviewed. Do you understand what's happening here? Everybody wants to have all the answers. I'm telling you, this podcasting space is going to change your life forever. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it and how you can do it too. But before I can teach you anything, I have to address the biggest lie that you tell yourself, which is I don't have anything to podcast about. Throw one in the chat if you were thinking that like, I'm going to start a podcast, but I don't know what I'm a podcast about necessarily. It's a lie. It's a lie. And I'm going to show you why that's absolutely not true. We are just warming up tonight. We got a week of this stuff. Listen, I want you to ask yourself in the past 3 days, who have you given advice to, or have you given advice to a friend about your business or a business? Have you given advice to a friend about anything? Put a yes in the chat if you have, put a no in the chat if you haven't. Have you solved someone's problem in the last 3 days? Put a yes in the chat, no if not. Have you shared any insight on an industry in the last 3 days? Have you told a story about client success, or have you told a story about somebody else's success in the last 3 days? Just ask yourself that question. Oh, you got something to talk about. You got something to talk about. Okay. Every business owner has a hidden podcast, and you guys are business owners. Ma'am, you're a business owner. Tracy, you're a business owner. Faraday, business owner. Janita, business owner. John, business owner. I don't know if you're already a business owner or not, but if you don't consider yourself a business owner, you are. But here's some homework. If a real estate agent, let's say you're a real estate agent, you could do a show on weekly market updates. Guess what? That's a podcast. What about a health coach? How to unbig your back. That is a podcast, right? We got any health coaches here that can effectively teach me how to stop wearing t-shirts in the pool? Anybody? That's the name of your podcast. No t-shirts in the pool. Come on. Hey, listen, if you're a health coach, first off, if I was a health coach, that would be the name of my podcast. No t-shirts in the pool. Come on. How to Unbig Your Back podcast. Episode 20. That's a podcast. If you're a business coach, whether it's beginning, intermediate, advanced, that is a podcast. If you are listen, if you just started a business, that is a podcast. Why don't you just podcast your journey? You can have a podcast interviewing successful business owners, teaching you and coaching you how to become a successful business owner. It'll be the most popular podcast in the world. What about a sobriety survivor? What if you survived sobriety and you remember what it was like to live in a prison? That is a podcast. Someone that's really dealing with that does not want to listen to David on how to build a business. They don't want to listen to a motivational podcast. They want to hear from somebody real that experience what they experience. And let me tell you, there's always somebody dealing with something. What if you're a stay-at-home mom? Hey, listen, can y'all, ladies, if you're a stay-at-home mom or a mom, period, can you please put a 5 in the chat if you could tell stories all day long about being a mom? Oh my gosh. Hey, look, throw a 7 in the chat if you look at TikTok videos of other moms and you just share them with your little mom group. That is a podcast. What about my flat earthers? We got flat earthers in the building. Shouts out to my flat earthers. You can start a whole podcast about how the whole world is wrong about everything. The world's flat. The moon landing didn't really happen. You know what I mean? That is a podcast. There's a bunch of people that would tune into the podcast to tell you how you're wrong. There's a whole bunch of people that's going to tune in to tell you, oh, you get me. You feel me. Oh my gosh, the whole world is asleep. You guys understand what I'm saying? The Hollywood moon landing. I love it. The real question isn't, what would you like to talk about? The real question is, why haven't you started talking about it yet? That's the real question. And we will answer those questions all week. Because here's what happens when you don't. Your competitors are becoming the go-to experts. Can somebody throw a 10 in the chat if there's some people that are half as talented as you in the same industry, but they're more popular? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They don't know half the stuff you know, but for some reason, they keep going viral with the wrong information. Mm-hmm. You're leaving money on the table every single day. Every single day. I'm telling you that you're not starting from scratch, y'all. You're not starting from, you think you're starting from scratch and you're not. You got some stuff. Throw it in the chat. I got some stuff. I know some stuff. Throw it in the chat. You're not starting from scratch. You got some stuff. You're simply organizing what you already know and amplifying what you already do. That's it. Point blank, period. That's it. You already do it. By not starting now, your potential customers don't know you exist. By not starting right now, there are people that are going to lead your potential audience astray. And they're going to take advantage of them. And they're going to scam them. So you should feel that blood on your hands. Your expertise will die with you. And you can't leave a legacy for your kids. This is my dad. So I want y'all to really take in this last slide, okay? When I say you leave no legacy, it's a lot deeper than what you think I'm saying right now. My dad was brilliant. I no longer have my dad. That's my dad in the middle with the red tie. You can see he got swag. I don't know why I didn't get the swag. My brother is on the right. That was on his wedding day. This is me, my dad, and my brother on the left. This is my dad being the life of the party, how he was always the life of the party. He was an entrepreneur. A brilliant, brilliant man. Ah, man, I wish I could have him on this call right now. And I wish listen, I would have started a podcast with my dad because of the wisdom he shared. I remember I went to a basketball game and I played the game and I scored the game winning point and I was the leading scorer. And my dad was in the crowd and he's sitting there, he was cheering throughout the game. But when we get in the car, I'm thinking we're gonna go celebrate, get some ice cream. He said, "Man, you played a great game, son." I said, "Thanks, Pop. Did you see me? You see that last little three? He was in my face, but yeah, I saw it." He said, "I saw something else though." He said, "Every time you go to the left side of the basket, you lay the ball up with your right hand." And anybody that's in sports, if you go to the left side, what hand should you lay the ball up with? If you go to the left, you should lay it up with your left. You go to the right, you lay it up with your right. He said, and every time you get in front of a man, even if he forces you to your left, you do your very best to go to your right. Well, if somebody forces me to my left and I go to my right, that just shows that I'm not very good with my left hand. And he saw that. So we didn't go get ice cream. He took me to an outside park. And my dad used to drive this old blue beat up truck. And he always had like just random tools and he got some rope out of his truck. He took my right arm, tied it behind my back, handed me a basketball, and made me dribble up and down that court, which felt like 1,000 times. I was crying. I was upset. It was hot. I was tired. We got in the car. He said, "You did good, son." He said, "I can't let you walk around life with handicaps." I can't let you walk around life with handicaps. This is something you can get better at. You should get better at it. My dad never even really gave me the answers to any of my questions. I said, he always answered my question with a question. I'm like, "Dad, which one do you think I should get?" He'd say something like, "Which one do you think?" And I'd say, "Dad, well, if I knew the answer, I wouldn't ask you, bro. Like, what's up?" He said, "Well, what do you think?" And I'm like, "Dad, I don't know." He said, "I'll take any answer, but I don't know." I think you do know. I said, "Well, I'll pick this one." He said, "Well, why'd you pick that one?" "Well, because I think that's going to fit better." I said, "You should go for it." And that happened my entire young life to the point where I stopped asking questions until I already had some answers. So I couldn't go to my dad and say, "What do you think I should do?" I had to go to him and say, "Dad, this is what I'm going to do. What do you think I should do about this that I've already decided to do?" I can't ask my dad, "Hey, well, you think I should go to college?" He'd say, "What do you think?" But once I decided to go to college, "Okay, Dad, I'm going to go to college. This is what I want to be. And I'm choosing between these three schools. Can you help me make a decision?" My dad taught me how to think, which is missing from today's generation. We have ChatGPT, we have AI. We can just go on Google, find an answer. We don't think nowadays. But my dad was teaching me something. He said, "You can't walk around with handicaps that you can fix, and you need to think. You are smarter than you think. You're smarter than you realize. You're more powerful than you can even imagine, son. You got some stuff in your brain. You can figure out anything. You can figure anything out." So I remember coming home, I was telling him about this girl that I liked in school. And I'm like, Dad, I've been trying to get it, man. I'm trying to get at her, man. She never give me her number. And then I remember telling him this cool story on how I strategized, talking to her friend, had her friend talk to her, and had my friend in a mutual connect. I was so excited about the strategy that I used. And he said, "That's it, son. You got it." I don't think he cared about the girl or my love interests. He was just excited that I started to think strategically. But unfortunately, I'll never, ever hear his voice again. And I'm trying to tell my kids about how brilliant my dad is, but they'll never hear his voice. He never recorded anything. He never recorded anything he had to say. Never recorded. Listen, the world lost a genius mind, but we'll never, ever hear it. We'll never be able to experience it. So some of you all that you haven't started your podcast because you're uncomfortable and you just don't know what to do or you're nervous. But what if your kids can't explain how brilliant mommy was? And there's no content. I went hard for the last 10 years of my life creating as much content as possible because my kids will never, ever not be able to share my voice and my brilliance and my ideas and my thoughts and my philosophy with their kids and their kids and their kids' kids and their kids. They'll never be able to say, you can't listen to my daddy. Anything else is selfish. So I'm asking you to leave a legacy. And I'm telling you, to start right now, you need a camera, you need a microphone, and you need a little bit of courage. I wish we had podcasting back there. I wish it was so accessible to be able to leave these love letters like I call it. I wish my dad could leave me these love letters. All right, let me keep going. This won't happen to you because I'm going to teach you how. Somebody put not me. Somebody put not me. This is not going to be me. This is like it's not going to, like, my kids can't explain what their mommy and daddy did. Your voice will never die. Somebody put it in the chat. My voice will never die. Martin Luther King's voice will never die. Some of the greats. Huey P. Newton, voice never die. Podcasters, voice will never die. My partners at Earn Your Leisure, voice will never die. My man Wall Street Trapper, his voice will never die. He does a show every single week. Here's what you're going to learn this week. My viral interview method. We're also going to teach you the complete branding formula, the simple tech setup, how to leverage AI, 10 revenue streams. Okay? These are our lessons for this week. I'm going to open it up for Q&A real quick because I want to get to some questions that you have, but this is just day one. I have to get you to see this as deeper than, oh, I just need to start a podcast. So I know someone's like, oh, I just need to know what type of camera. Tonight's conversation is necessary because I need you to feel something. Without the feeling that you feel right now, none of the stuff we teach over the week is going to help you. So these are all the things plus more you're going to learn. But here's your homework. I want you to list 10 conversations you've had about a problem this month. And title that episode. List 10 conversations that you've had about any problem. Any problem. Your homegirl calls and says, hey, he's doing it again. You know what that means. He's doing it again, man. Keep hanging out with his friends. He always going out to the club. And you talked about that problem. I want you to write that down. My friend is trying to figure out how to get her significant other to stop going to the club. And this is the title of that episode. Hey, do me a favor. Give me the title of that episode that I just shared real quick. Let's just have a second real quick. Your friend calls and there's a problem. He cannot stop going to the club. He goes 4 days a week and hangs out with his friends and don't never be home. And we just had a baby. That is a problem. And there's a conversation that you had. What is the title? Girl, bye. Somebody said, peace be still. Here we go again. My man is a club addict. Time to let go. Why won't your man stay home? Can't get right. Somebody said, "Can't get right." Spirals of strength. Grow up, huh? Golly. Just sit down. That's the whole episode. Just sit down. All right. Did your homework? Y'all got your homework? Uh, put a yes in the chat if you got your homework. Put a yes in the chat. I wanted to leave a little more time, but I'm just going to have to go extra innings. Okay. So let me stop here. All right. I'm going to take a couple hands. Let's get questions going. Tracy, what's up? Tracy.
David, really
Yes.
quick. Oh. Am I on it?
Yes.
Can you?
Yes.
There you go.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Really quick, before we get Tracy, y'all already know in the beginning, I told you guys there was going to be a quiz. And that link is about to get dropped right now.
Woo, let's go.
Right now, okay? So go ahead, answer the questions on that quiz. It's all in regards to today's conversation. And y'all, the winners will be announced tomorrow.
Let's go.
Tomorrow. All right, Tracy, it's all on you.
Tracy, what's up? Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
Hi, how you doing? So,
I'm awesome.
first of all, thank you for the gems that you dropped tonight. You know, if this was any confirmation that I'm in the right place,
Let's go.
tonight's episode was it. So,
Let's go.
a bunch of my questions were actually answered in this episode, but I do have one, and we'll probably get to it later this week. So, tell me, peace, be still if you need to. But the situation I have is I have an idea, I have stories, I have that. I have a co-host, and
Mhm.
our situation is that I'm in the Midwest, my co-host is on the East Coast.
Yep.
How do you handle situations like that? I mean, I'm sure a lot of different steps have to go into it because of that situation. But what's the
Yep.
best way, and also the best platform to start something like that with?
So you can go, if you're having a co-host and you're virtual, you can do exactly what we're doing right now. So right now I'm actually streaming to YouTube live. You can do it that
Okay.
way, no problem. And with it, like I'm using Ecamm right now, and there's a couple different ways you can go about that. You can pre-record it, where I record, we get on here right now. I could pre-record this and we could put it up as an episode, but you could do it live where you have live callers coming in. That's fine. If y'all are gonna meet up on a regular basis, maybe once a quarter, y'all can get together and bang out a bunch of episodes if y'all want to do it live. But there's so many different ways that you can do it. You can actually, let's say you're gonna do it virtually, and there's nothing wrong with doing it virtually. You could do something virtually around topics that are happening right now and just start attacking different topics. And you can involve your YouTube audience, your Facebook audience while you're streaming live. So you can stream live to Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all with Ecamm or Restream or any of StreamYard, any of these other platforms.
Okay.
So you got a couple options. So you can do it virtually, or you just batch record, get together once a quarter. Like CJ and ET, it's like 4 people in the podcast. They get together and they batch record.
Okay.
He flies up to Michigan once every 2 months, and we sit there for a couple of days and bang out a bunch of episodes for the next few months. You think about it. Let's say you're going to do it every quarter. You want to drop an episode every single week. That's 12 episodes. You sit there for 2 days, 3 days,
Right.
bang out 3 of them, bang out another 3, bang out another 3. Y'all good for the quarter.
Okay.
So you got options.
Awesome. Thank you.
Or let me give you another option. And I'm gonna my last hand. I'm gonna get my last hand because these joints could go crazy. What you could do, a podcast is an audio experience.
Right.
It doesn't even necessarily have to be that you all are in the same place at the same time recording the same episodes. So y'all can do one virtually every single week, and you can get in the studio, you record a solo episode, 10 minutes on this particular topic, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. Your friend is interviewing other people in her city or doing solo episodes, and y'all just dumping it all on the same YouTube channel.
Gotcha.
But there's a bunch of different ways you could do it. But we'll
Okay.
talk through it this week, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Good stuff. You are very, very welcome. All right. Let's go. All right, you got another good. All right, next up, let's get Shawana. Marquita. Marquita. What up?
Hey,
Is it
David.
Quita or Kita?
It's Keita. Thank you so much. You had it right the first time. Thank
Got it.
you.
Good
Okay,
stuff.
so from yesterday, I narrowed down and I have the problem. Mine is I want to be not virtual. I want to do my podcast in person.
Yep.
If those people that I'm interested in interviewing are not in my city and state, is it best to fly them here and eat the
Heck
cost?
no. Heck no. No.
Okay.
Don't do that. As you might as well just take some money and just flash it down the toilet.
That's why I'm asking, what is the best way? Because I thought that was the best engagement is in person, or that's at least
Well,
how
I
I want to
mean,
do it. So,
well, it kind of depends. So some people have really good engagement and they do it virtually. Do you follow Kendra G?
yes,
In person or virtual?
you're asking, do I follow her?
No. Yes, you follow follow Kendra. Her show, is it in person or virtual?
I think hers is virtual if I have the right
She
person.
be on Instagram Live and brings people on the Instagram Live, and it'd be thousands of people on that joint.
And I saw that, but I thought that it was because she had built, that was how she started, so that's what she stayed with. So if I'm just getting started, then am I going to have the same engagement of doing it virtually?
Well, maybe not today, but if you're as consistent as she was, you can have what she has.
True.
We just got to get something going first. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. You're gonna fly them people in. You're gonna have the same amount of views that is if you did it virtually. You'll have the same amount of views interviewing that person on your first couple
Right.
episodes if you just sat in front of the camera and talked about some stuff.
Okay.
Because it takes a little while for you to get good at it and understand it and be able to
Gotcha.
promote it and market it. You got me?
So I'm going to build up to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Thank
We're
you.
gonna build up to that for sure. There we go. Hey, look, throw that in the chat. That's the theme for the night. Build up to that. Let's just put it in the chat. Build up to that. Yeah. Okay. How many? Okay. I don't even know if this is on the quiz, but just throw it in the chat. How many episodes did it take for me to get any type of motion on my podcast? 54. Yeah, come on, y'all. Let's go. All right, Shawana. And you got to have your camera on, family. So let's do this. We got Shawana next.
Yes. You've had me in a chokehold since 5 o'clock this morning, first of all. My question to you is, how do I connect with people emotionally with no context? Because I have a hard time doing that.
What do you mean?
So this morning you told me I didn't connect with you emotionally. I have a hard time because the back and forth dialogue is what gives me the context to give you the answer. So I just had a coaching call before this, and my student said the same thing. She's like, if I looked at your content, I would never think you know all the things you know. But once we get on the phone and we have a back and forth conversation, you've answered more questions for me than anyone. So if I want to do solo podcasts, just solo episodes, how do I bring in the emotion of connecting with like you as a barber, like we discussed this morning, where I don't go over people's heads, or I'm simplifying it enough where it's practical and they get good content and I can, again, connect emotionally.
The way we fix that is we start today. Would you agree that if you were working on your ability to connect emotionally and it was just you talking, right? If you worked on that ability and you started episode 1 today, do you think you'd have improved by episode 42?
I would hope so, yeah.
Yeah, because through this process, you're going to start practicing it. You're going to read books. You'll start to notice certain things. Listen, I'm going to throw some other homework here with you and for everybody.
Okay.
Think about somebody you admire who connects emotionally and it's just them talking. Can you think of anyone? Is there anybody that you listen to? Try to find a solo podcast, somebody that they just talk. Donni Wiggins does a really, really good episode.
David Bayer.
Or studies. I'm sorry?
David Bayer. He's more of like spiritual, that type of like manifestation. You are everything, that type of person.
100%. 100%. Study it. Just watch them. How they're moving. Somebody put Myron Gold in Wall Street Trapper. He does a show. It's just him by himself. Tony Robbins. Some people can just stand there and talk. Here's a hack. You can go live on your social media and start talking to them. Nobody else is in the room. Go live and you start talking to them because you can see the comments, right? That's one way you can exude emotion, but you have to study the craft. And maybe I'll play it. I'll play it one day this week. But I was so impressed. David Letterman asked Jay-Z a question during their interview, and he asked him about cheating on Beyonce. Now, let me ask you this question. If you got a chance to interview Jay-Z, would you ask him about cheating on Beyonce?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Which it sounds like no way you cut that. That is a bad question. But not for David Letterman. So David, he starts off and he said, yo, I want to ask you one more question. And he said, bro, I was in a situation where I almost lost my family. And he said, I had done some things that I'm not proud of, that I really, really regret. And my wife, she almost left me to be off with somebody else. And he did probably like a 4 or 5 minute dialogue. And he never said, I cheated on my wife. But all of the stuff he talked about for like 4 or 5 minutes helped us put context clues together to say, oh, he must have cheated on his wife. And he asked Jay-Z a very simple question. He sat back in his chair after his little rant was done. And he said, I was just wondering if you could relate to that. It was masterful, Shawana. Now, I geek out over that stuff. It was masterful. But I got so excited because I studied the craft and I love communication. So this is my dad tying my right hand behind my back, saying there's a handicap that you deal with. Now we just got to work on it.
Yeah, because I can do
You got to
this
work on it.
all day. I can go live. I can talk to people. We get on TikTok. I have so many testimonials and I've helped people write books, like all kind of stuff. But when it's me with a camera and I just want to have a conversation, people say I'm vague or I go over their head with certain things.
How many times have you done that?
Hundreds.
Okay. How many times has it become a problem where you start to notice, am I really talking over people's head?
When people say it to me,
how often?
Like, it's enough to get people to want to have a deeper conversation. And then when we have the deeper conversation, boom. That's why I was telling you before, I can book high ticket coaching because I can have a conversation all day and I can relate to you. But on a grand scheme of just connecting with people that I can help, I don't know how. I'm not an emotional person. I don't know how
For sure. I get you 100%. There's a conversation that we're now having that you can start to practice and notice. Okay. The other side of it is maybe you don't need to be something else. Maybe your style is your style. What's my man name? Remember he told the girl that she was built like a linebacker or something like that? What's my man name? You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about. The guy with the glasses, he died when he was
Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels. He had a very dry style, emotionless style, but he went viral. Maybe you need to be the person who's not rubbing nobody on the back and you're just telling them how it is. There's so many different styles out here. Now, if you want to add that to your game, I'm telling you to tie your right hand behind your back and start working on your left. Yeah. I'm saying, like, let's start practicing storytelling. Let's study how to tell a story with emotion. I'm not a natural storyteller, but I've studied it. Sometimes you got to talk and then you got to pause and let that moment sit. I didn't get that like just being myself. It took practice. You understand? So let's either we're going to work on this thing and we're going to start studying the art of communication and affecting people with our words, or we're going to lean into our own style and this is who I am. The people that love me will love me. The people that don't like it, that's not my audience. And there's millions of people that will love you just how you are. All right? Good stuff. Good stuff. Love it. Yo, I saw the funniest thing today. And bro, we just might have to be here all night. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get through these hands. I saw a video of David Goggins. Or somebody just said, it just triggered me. I saw it today. David Goggins was on stage. And obviously the people are like engaged. The guy from the crowd, and I was so confused. It was just entertaining. The guy from the crowd says, he said, he said, do you know, or do you love Jesus Christ? And David said, what? The guy in the crowd said, I just want to know, do you love Jesus Christ? David said, oh, we're not going to do that S right now. He started cussing up a storm. He said, no, we're not going to do that S. You're not going to come up here and F and try to embarrass me. He said, I believe in God. He said, do you believe in Jesus Christ? He said, I believe in God and I believe in Jesus. Now that's enough of that S and da-da-da. I couldn't believe there was so much profanity and Jesus in the same sentence. I just didn't grow up in that way. I grew up in a time, and you might relate to me, where if you was playing rap music too loud and you passed by a church, you would
Yes.
turn that joint down a little bit. You
Wow.
feel me? I couldn't believe it. So I go into the comments because I'm like, I'm sure they're attacking this man in the comments. There was mad people that was like, oh, yes, he loves Jesus. I was like, dang. They was like, okay, great. That's my God. I was like, yeah, first off, I don't know where I was going with that story, but it was entertaining. So he is being him. And there's an audience of people that was attracted to that. I was shocked. Y'all gotta find the video. Hey, somebody go find that video and put it in the chat so everybody else can see it. It was, anyway. I'm gonna say your name. Kwajaleen. Kwajaleen?
Yes, you got it. Kawajaleen.
I feel like it's a win when I get the name.
Yes,
What's up, sis? How can I help you?
you did. It's Kawajaleen. And it's very few people get it because everybody want to do with a quad.
Come
and
on,
it's
man.
not.
We align. We align.
Yeah.
Or just call you Miss Waters. We ain't doing that today. What's up, Kwajaleen? How can I help you?
Well, I think I took your challenge before and I've been kind of studying, but my thing is getting in front of the camera.
Mhm.
And so I'm trying. I have a lot of years of content. I've done
Yeah.
a lot of things and I have lots of things. Like I'm a survivor of cancer, 23 years. And I'm
Wow.
40 years in the accounting bookkeeping business. And so I'm trying to figure out which niche do I do, or can I just, this is a lot.
The answer is, first off, I think we went two different directions. One, you were saying, what should I start? But the other was like, yo, getting in front of this camera, which I think that's two issues, right? Getting in front of the camera and figuring out the niche, but you're in front of a camera right now. So
I understand.
what's
And
the difference?
It's just that when I get in the camera, I think I'm like I am now, trying to figure it out.
You just asked a good question. Hey, do me a favor, somebody from the team. How many people are on our YouTube live right now? Oh, I can see it right now, actually. There's 723 people on our live. You are on
Wow.
camera in front of 723 people, not including the other almost 200 people here right now. So
Okay.
you're on camera. Congratulations, which means this is something in your brain that doesn't really exist.
Okay.
How you gonna get on
Maybe
camera? And be like,
I just needed to hear that.
Camera. You're on camera.
You're on camera live.
So
Yeah.
you can do audio only, but I don't recommend it because it's the same work. Like it's the same work of putting some information out there. First off, you got skin that won't quit. You feel me? You got, come on, melanin rich. You feel me?
Thank
Your
you.
face
Thank
need to be
you.
on camera.
Yeah.
You
And
understand?
we'll be 60 in August.
Come on, believe it or not, there is somebody that's on here right now that's 20 something that's dealing with the same thing you dealing with, and they looked at you. Listen, there's somebody in here that's 20 something and they have a question, but they're terrified to answer it. But when Auntie Kawajaline came on here, they're like, ooh, I could do this. You just
Yeah.
inspired somebody today.
Yeah.
How many people, somebody just be real with me, throw one in the chat. You wanted to ask a question, but you are camera shy and you just didn't do it. So just throw one in the chat. I don't really just be, see? Anyway, to answer the B side of your question, it doesn't matter. Pick what you feel is best. Pick
Okay.
what you feel you'd have the most fun talking about. But ultimately, you want to pick which problem you are going to solve for someone.
Okay.
So what is the biggest problem that you know you need to address that you can actually spend your life's work solving for people? That's probably going to be the thing. Don't just think of what idea should I go with. Think about a
Okay.
problem that you could solve, a mission that you could be on. And let's try
Yeah.
that. And then come back tomorrow. Let me know what you came up with.
Okay.
Cool?
That would be great. That would be great. I'll do that.
Let's go. I got your back. Come on. That's my auntie
Really
right
quick,
there.
Dave. I'm so happy you brought up people asking the questions and being nervous. Because you know what other group of people we have?
Come on.
People in YouTube, on YouTube right now. They have questions, but because of the fact that they're on YouTube, they're not able to raise their hand and ask them. They're not
Unfortunately.
able to raise their hand and ask them. So what I'm gonna need all of my YouTubers, if you have a question that is burning right now, I need you to go ahead, click the link that is pinned in the comments, upgrade to VIP so you can go ahead, be one of the people to raise your hand and get your question answered. All right. But we're gonna go
There you
ahead.
go.
Come on up, ma'am. You're up.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Hey,
All
how
right.
are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. What's happening?
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I just seen a picture of us about 3 days ago. I was going through my history looking for something else. But
Wow.
I was in the morning meetup
Mhm.
and I took the podcast course
Yes,
and I
ma'am.
started my podcast in 2023.
Awesome.
But I chose to go audio only,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I didn't want, I was just being real to myself. I didn't want any hurdles to stop me from actually starting the podcast. Right.
Gotcha.
So I was like, okay, I can go on camera, but then I was thinking about all the editing and the lighting and I was like, no, I just want to get started. I just want to get started. So I did.
Yeah.
And I
Cool.
did season 1, 26 episodes, and I started a
Yep.
season 2, which was an AI driven interactive season, but I only did 4
Good.
episodes. I can't find the traction. And some of my questions or the questions that I had have been answered in the last 4 people that you've talked to a certain,
Good.
right? Because you
All right,
said
let me ask you the
question,
let me answer the question that you haven't asked yet.
right?
Is set up a camera.
Hmm.
So you know how to set up the audio, you know how to record audio, right?
Yes.
Just put a camera there and do the same thing. But here's what I want you to do. I
Mhm.
want the camera video to be real bad. Like I want it to have terrible light and I want it to have the wrong angle and not in focus. I just want you to just make sure you do it bad for me. Okay?
Okay. Are you going to explain to me why you want me to make
No,
it?
no, no. I just want you to do it bad.
Okay.
Because it's easier to do it bad. And then eventually you'll learn how to work your camera. Then you'll be like, oh, let me just put a little more light in here and make it look good. But I'm just telling you because I don't want you to ruin what you're doing in the audio space. Just set up a camera right there. Or get somebody who understands cameras to set up a camera for you and just hit record.
Okay.
It's the
And I
same.
have recorded myself while I was doing the audio for like social
Good.
media, to chop it up and use it on social
Yep.
media, but not like a whole episode. I still go onto YouTube, but it's faceless because it
Good.
comes from Podbean, right?
Yeah.
And it's faceless.
But yeah, let's put your face on there. The world needs to see your face.
Yeah.
What color are your eyes?
Hazel.
Come
And
on,
gray.
man.
It
Get
just
them hazel
depends on
eyes
the
on the
day.
internet. Come on, Hazel. Get them eyes on the internet. The world want to see them. Come on. I wish I had some hazel. I'll go get some contacts right now. but it's just not gonna look the same. You know what I mean? Set up a camera. It
Okay,
ain't like you don't know how to do it.
true.
Because you know how I know you know how to do it?
How?
Because you're on a camera right now. Y'all are killing me with this stuff. Y'all are setting up a camera to be on Zoom, but say I can't set up a camera to do the
No,
podcast.
I just didn't want to do the edits and all the time it takes for the
Don't edit it.
editing.
My first episode, I didn't start editing for a very long time. I put the whole thing up,
Okay.
record it, don't edit it, take it straight out the camera, upload that file onto YouTube. In the YouTube editor, you can take off the front and take off the back. Like if, before you start, just take off the front until you say, welcome to the podcast. And at the end, when you get up and turn the camera off, just take that part off, just scoot it back, turn it off, boop, put it up there.
And the times
Okay.
that you stutter and all, because when
Put
I
it
do
up
audio, I can
there.
cut that out. I can
Put
cut
it
it
up
out.
there. Put it up there. I stutter all the time. Put it up there. Eventually you'll get better and you won't stutter as much. So
Okay.
go forth, be great, man. We got 4 more days of this stuff. All
Yes, I'm looking forward to it because I need
All
this
right.
podcast to take off.
Let's go. Let's record one before you come back tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
And upload it on YouTube, okay? Okay? Hold on. Bring her back. Bring her back. Bring her back.
All right, Stephanie, you can unmute.
Come back to the screen, Stephanie.
Yeah, I'm here.
Where's she at? Where's she at? Okay. I need you to record an episode and put it up on YouTube before you show up tomorrow.
Okay.
Can you do that?
I can. Do you want me to post the link inside of the community?
Yes, please.
Okay.
If you can do that for me, I will buy you lunch.
Okay. You have a question for me to
You got
answer?
Zelle?
I do.
I'll just Zelle you. So it's going to be a good lunch too, like a $50 lunch. We're going to do a $50 lunch. If you could just upload a video with them hazel eyes for everyone's viewing pleasure, I will buy you lunch. I'll just Zelle you $50. Just when you come on tomorrow, lunch on me.
Okay.
And guess what? You're going to realize, oh, I didn't die. You're going to get some views and say, oh my gosh, people really like it.
I'm still in one piece. Okay. Do you have a question for me to answer for that?
No, I don't care what it's about.
Okay.
I will see you tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
All right. You're very welcome. John.
Hey, David. How you doing, man?
I'm blessed, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, this is my first time going down this road. I just launched a coaching class where I help businesses scale, exit, mentor, and invest. And I've had a dream of launching this podcast called The Heartbeat of Money.
Hold on. First off, tell me about what is the heartbeat of money? That's hard.
So here's the thing, man. Like I was in banking for 10 years. I came from a family that we didn't have abundance. And I feel like it's a conditioned mindset in people that you get stuck in this place of not having the abundance, and money becomes this trigger of something you can't reach. And so what I'm trying to do, and you encouraged me yesterday when you said, what's the problem? And that's the problem. So I did something. I used some of my AI stuff, and I put a podcast positioning statement together that I'd like to read to you because I think it really hits home for where I am and what I want to do. And so I'm just going to read it to you. The Heartbeat of Money isn't just another financial podcast. It's where faith, emotion, and strategic wealth building collide. This is for entrepreneurs, the family builders, the legacy creators. We walk real money, real strategy, and real purpose, like church therapy and a boardroom session rolled into one. And so my question to you is, I've been very fortunate that I've been able to engage with a group of people that are in a mastermind. And I'd like to put something together to reach out to them in a way that I can send my message where I don't care what industry they're in. I want them to talk about money from a perspective that meets this positioning statement. And so I really want to understand the best way, because I got like 50 people that I think I could just reach out and we just launch each other's thing, and we're on each other's socials, and but I want it to be about this heartbeat of money from their perspective. And I want to be an amazing interviewer. Yeah.
I mean, you just got to ask them.
Is there a way to like lay it out with like some questioning, because I think about people's time, and I want to, it's precious.
Do
And
me a
so,
favor. Who
yeah.
do you think? Let's say, for instance, and this is a real scenario. Let's say, for instance, you had to call somebody right now that would be a great guest for your podcast, and you're pretty sure they pick up right now.
What would I
Who would
say to
that be?
them?
Who would that be?
Oh, I have probably 30 or 40 of them I can call and ask.
Okay, just give me one that you think like if I was going to give you a $10,000 for them to answer the phone, who do you think it would be?
I get this guy named Chad. I call him
All
up
right,
and I
do me
can
a
get
favor.
him.
Do me a favor. Are you on your
Mhm.
computer right now?
Yeah.
Call Chad on your phone and put it on speaker and just tell him you want him to be on your podcast.
Okay.
We don't need templates. We don't need emails. We just need to call him and say, hey, I want you to be on my podcast. We're going to talk about the heartbeat of money. And let's just see what happens.
Well, he already told me he would. I was thinking more.
What's the
I'll call him.
problem?
No, it's not
What's
the
the problem?
problem. So the question, I guess, is not the right question. The question is how do you script the podcast and questioning so that it stays in line with the heart of what you're trying to present in your positioning
But
statement?
you don't necessarily have to script the podcast. You just ask the questions that you want answered.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
heartbeat about money is like really what people understand about money, correct? Like how
Yeah.
it works, investing, things of that nature, right?
No, not necessarily. I really wanted to go more into the psychology behind they didn't have it, they had it, how they got it, what was their things they
Let's start.
overcame.
Let's start. Let's do
Yeah.
this. I'm
Yeah.
your friend Chad. What's the first question you'll ask me?
So have you always had money in your life, or was it something that you had
Heck
to work
no.
for?
I didn't always have money.
Yeah.
I
What was
had
that
to
like
really
for
figure
you?
this out.
What was
Oh,
that
I
like for
mean,
you?
not having money.
Yeah.
Actually, not having money wasn't that bad because I never had it, so I didn't have anything to compare it to.
Right, right.
It's
So when you
just I didn't
did get
have it.
it,
So
so when you did get it, how did that change the way you thought about where you came from?
well, it was odd actually because once I got some money, I did my very best to get rid of it. Like if I had a refund check for some reason, I just kept spending, and no matter how much money I got, for some reason I just kept spending it until I found like a mentor, and I realized, yo, I made enough money to be well off, but I just keep spending it, and then I
What
got
did
tired
that,
of not having money.
yeah, what did that mentor say to you that made you change the way you were looking at money?
John, why do you think you need a script when you just asked me some great questions?
I don't know. Okay. I'm with you.
Call Chad, set it up.
All
Set
right.
it up, and then just do the episode, bro. You're good.
Okay. All right. Right on.
Let's go. Let's
Cool.
go.
Thank you.
All
Thank you,
right.
David.
You're very welcome. All right, Tyree.
David.
Y'all gonna stop playing. Y'all gonna stop playing with me today. Y'all got it. Y'all got this. Y'all got this.
We got it,
Go
David.
crazy,
We got
John.
it. We got it.
Yes.
We got it.
What's up, Tyree?
Question. Would you batch multiple podcasts together to put them on YouTube? Or would you do one podcast at a time when you're starting your channel? The reason I asked that question is because
Well, I already got. You don't got to get the reason because I got the answer. Just
okay.
do a bunch of them and then release them.
Okay. Got
There
it.
we go.
Got it. Put 3 or 4 together and then release it. On
Yeah,
the new channel.
I'll record. Let's say like you record like 4 or 5. Take one of them, release it this week, promote that one until next week. You release the second one, promote that one, then you release the third one. When you got like 1 or 2 left, record another 3 or 4.
Okay, so release them one at a time.
I will release one at a time. Yep.
One at a time. Okay, one at a time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Take this note. Don't produce what you can't promote. It's gonna be hard to promote 3 episodes at the same time. You need to release one and then tell everybody for a week how amazing this one episode is and how they should go check it out and the conversation we had. And then the very next week we can promote the next thing. But it's gonna be hard to promote all 3. Don't produce what you can't promote.
Got it.
Cool.
Got it. Okay.
Let's go.
Thank you.
All right. All right. You're very welcome. Michael Russ, man, first off, this is probably the best $49 or $97 y'all ever spent.
Yo, hey.
Michael Russ, what's up?
Yo, Dave, what's good, brother? How you doing, man?
Blessed, brother. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for this. I'm glad to make this investment, and I look forward to coming to the summit as well.
Let's go.
So I have a mini question before I get to my main question. this week, will we also learn more about how to improve in our communication and how to set up those questions as we're doing our podcast?
For sure. That's my specialty.
Yeah.
The art of the interview.
Yes. Yes.
We need to understand that. So absolutely. I got you, bro. I got you back.
All right. So
That's
I was
cool.
on last night and I know you were talking like, hey, if you're gonna do relationships, you need to have a unique spin, right? So I already have the name for my podcast. I already have the theme music and all of that good stuff. Initially, I did want to talk about relationships. So, but I'm also, as you were kind of talking earlier, maybe it was Donni.
Michael,
like,
here's the thing. I got to start accepting one question at a time because I got 1,000 hands.
Yeah, for sure.
But I did answer the first question. Give me a quick next question as your official one question because you didn't know, and then everybody else give me one question, and we'll get to it.
So as Donni was saying, I think it was either Donni or you, Oprah interviewed people and they talked about whatever. She asked questions about things she wanted to know, right? So I was considering focusing on relationships, but I also was thinking about maybe just talking about life in general. So I wanted to get your thought on that. And
I got you. Identify the problem that you want to solve. A big problem. Is there a big problem in relationships? Is there a big problem in life? There's a big problem in mental health. You want to come up with a problem. Before we just pick which one we want to do, let's solve a problem first.
Okay.
And then wrap our whole show, our whole brand, and other products around this problem that we're solving. So just spend some time doing some homework. Like, okay, what is the problem that I'm going to set out to solve, and I'm going to solve it better than anybody else in the world? And then that will be what the show is about.
So, but if I'm going to focus on like dating and relationships and marriage, and I really want to look at, I'm a minister, and so I really want to look at singles who are not married yet.
Michael, problem. I don't care what the problem is. You know what the problem is. You're looking for validation at this point. You have some problems that you
I need you in my life, brother. That's why
I got you, bro. Here's the thing. I'm telling you to pick one. It doesn't matter as long as the problem is something you're passionate about.
Okay.
Don't think about what's a good idea. Think about a problem, a real problem that's being solved, and you're going to solve that through your podcast.
Okay.
Right. You look like Lil Rel a little bit. I don't know if everybody told you that.
No, I don't even know who that is.
You don't know Lil Rel?
No.
Like, don't he? A little bit, y'all. Lil Rel. Never mind. All right, yes, you got it. You got it, bro. Let's go. All right. He's a successful person, so you do like Lil Rel a little bit. Fred, what's up?
Finally get to meet you, man. 2014, I started. I've had my YouTube channel since 2006. Wow. 300,000 views, 1,200 subscribers. I love media, technology, and personal growth. I'm trying to figure out one thing. Can I combine them all? Because they all solve a problem and helping people with media, and then also their actual personal growth. Or is that too complicated?
Well, what's the problem that we solve?
People who struggle with media, technology, who are afraid of it. Yeah,
I think that's a big enough problem. Who struggles with that?
Most entrepreneurs and business owners.
Got it.
Trying to build their
business. It. I love it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you,
Let's
man.
go solve some problems. I love it. Good stuff. Maya, Cisco. Remember that song?
Is that me?
What up, Maya?
Hi.
What's happening?
I have a little confession. I actually don't know. I hadn't watched any of your podcasts, didn't know anything about you or anybody I've seen on here so far. I just happened to be on online and saw this opportunity because a quick story. I'd like to do junking sometime. I went to a thrift store and there was this little box, and I said, I passed the box and I went back to come. First, a guy was like, go to thrift store. I said, I don't need nothing at the thrift store. So there was this little box, and I said, what's in that box? And I checked the box. What's in the box? And I said, okay, I'm gonna get the box. It's only $19 on the box. Guy said, buy the box. I said, I'm gonna open it first. So I opened the box, and this is what was in the box. It was a whole thing for me to start a podcast, right?
Okay.
And in the box, it was a letter that came in it that says, I made my first $1 million on here. Here's to you. Congratulations to your first $1 million podcast.
Wow.
And I was right. And I had already been thinking about it, but that's just a quick story I wanted to say. But now I have a whole bunch of things I want to talk about. But the main thing that I'm good at is also relationships and parenting. I'm a mother of 5. Something unique about that, and I'm gonna get to the question.
Maya, because I feel like you got mad stories. The
I have
only
a lot.
reason I need you to start with this question because
Uh-huh.
I got my wife and kids at the crib. Okay, so I need to just give me a question. I'm gonna answer that joint. Trust me.
Okay.
I got
I'm
you.
just gonna ask you. I'm gonna go back to your story. What was different? And then I'll share mine later. What was the difference? Because you had been doing podcasts for a long, long time. And what was the difference in that particular 54 interview that you had from the 42 that was different? Was it more different questions, more confidence that you had, lighting? What was the thing that you think made that impact?
Nothing. It was absolutely nothing.
No.
I interviewed the same way, same style. He was just a very interesting person, and he had like a cool story. Nothing.
I thought I was gonna get a gem
I'm
from
just
you.
doing my say now. I'm working on my ability to get better, and I'm working on my ability to ask more direct questions and stop making my questions so long. But it wasn't anything special.
It wasn't anything like that.
Yeah, if you do something often enough, you get better at it.
I'm
It's
thinking
consistent.
consistency. Yeah.
Yes, there we go.
Okay. That was it.
Good question.
All right,
Good
y'all.
question, sis.
Really
That mic will make you $1 million too. Okay. What's up?
really quick, y'all. I love y'all. We got to start with the questions. Okay. In the event David needs any type of context, he will be sure to ask you for it. Okay. Jude,
Yeah.
come on up.
I was interested in that last story though. I was wondering if she was going with the box. I was going to stop her, but I was like, I had to see what was in that box. What's up, Juby?
Blessings, you said it right. Hey, nice. Okay. I love you. I love Donnie. I'm real nervous. I'm shaking. Sorry.
Don't be.
I'm kind of in a space with the other lady. Soon as I'm good till the camera get on.
Yep.
And then I don't know what to do. But I'm also in that space of I'm just a hot ball flaming mess. Like when I first started watching you and Donnie, it was done. But at least now I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So just basically, I'm still all over the place because I
No, I
craft,
get it. I get it.
I DJ, I travel. I did start a little YouTube. I got like 3 episodes. They 4 months
No,
apart.
what's a little YouTube? Because I'm just on I'm on regular YouTube. I don't know. You got a little one? Or
Okay, I set myself
no, I'm
up.
just saying because I upload on regular YouTube. I don't know if you upload videos or if it's a different way to upload on the little YouTube. Little YouTube is crazy. Listen, Julie, I already know. I understand. Yo, here's the thing, y'all. I'm not being rude, but I've been doing this for a very long time. And before you finish your question, I understand what you're saying. For most of you, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're all over the place.
I'm all over the place.
I would imagine that you are maybe a creative and you just be doing creative stuff. You get these ideas, you have no shortage of ideas. But now is the time that you have to stop jumping around from stuff and get serious about something and give something a chance to grow. Because and again, this is my first time ever talking to you. What I probably understand about your life is that there's not many things that we've completed.
Started 100 million things and
I'm telling you, I know you and I haven't even met you. But if you give me a couple context clues, I get it. I've coached thousands of entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to ask you to do, because it's not that the camera makes you nervous, I think it's the commitment. And you have like commitment issues. What I want you to do is to start with solving a problem. What is the problem that I want to solve? How can I create a podcast that attacks that problem? And I'm going to make this my life's mission to keep this conversation going. You understand? So there's something that you're passionate about. There's a problem that you can set out to solve, but if you are not consistent, people perish.
Right.
There's some people that need the information that you have, but for some reason, in a selfish way, you don't want to give it. You don't want to deliver it. And it's not that you can't. You can. But we got to jump out of that being afraid of commitment thing. This whole week, we're going to teach you everything you need to start. We're going to help you develop that confidence, all that kind of stuff. You're going to be fine. I'm just asking you to make a commitment. That's all I need from you is a commitment.
And you got it. But I also got 1,000 problems.
No, you don't. You ain't got no more problems than I got.
So it's hard to
you think you got more problems?
The one to talk about.
Listen, if you think you got more problems than Vanessa or Kenneth or Rakeem or Dr. Brian, you are out of your mind. I got problems. You hear me? I'm nervous because I told my wife I'll be home in 10 minutes and I'm not going to get off here in 10 minutes. Okay. And I live 30 minutes away. I got problems. You understand?
Okay.
I'm just asking for commitment. Okay? Commit to these next 5 days. Just be on every day because you're the type to get distracted and do something else. Lock in.
Wait, do you got a camera? You got a camera in here?
I've been here in this space for a very long time. I'm asking you to commit because how you do anything is how you do everything. And when you tell me something that you're doing, it tells me a whole lot about what's going on in your world. But if you could just master this one thing of commitment, your whole life will change. Not for the podcast, but period. Your whole life will change if you can commit to something for a few years. Not for a couple of days, not for a couple of weeks, for a few years. Your life will change. I gotta get to the next question, okay? All right. We got you.
All right. We're gonna get we're gonna get 3 more hands, y'all. Let's rapid fire with these questions and then we're out of here.
First off, I didn't tell her to say that. And I don't appreciate you stopping me talking to my friends. First off. You know what I mean? Like, Nella, who you?
You will appreciate it when your wife don't get you, okay? You will appreciate it.
I am working on creating balance in my life. All right, but we're going to be here all week, so I got y'all, okay? Dr. Brian, what's up, bro?
Hey, how you doing this day? I know you're doing fantastic, so thank you for answering all these questions. So here's where I'm at. 2 questions that I have. One is, what will it take to have you on my podcast? I know I did that with Myron about a year ago, and Myron finally got on my podcast. And so I asked him that. And then what I got to do on yours. I now have 393 episodes and none have gone viral. I have one called Journey to Freedom, which is helping Black men get unstuck. Have another one called Living Boldly with Purpose. Journey to Freedom has 185 really good episodes with, I think they're good. And so I'm just trying to figure out how to make this move forward and go forward. And you know, all the stuff that I'm doing, I've done 1,000.
I'm sorry, real quick. For one, you have 2 different podcasts?
I do.
First mistake.
Okay.
Don't produce what you can't promote, and you cannot promote 2 podcasts.
Okay. Well, and the reason
tell me you have 2 podcasts, I'm not going to watch either one of them.
Okay. Well, the reason is because Journey to Freedom is just for Black men, and then Living Boldly with Purpose is for everybody else.
Yeah, well, you have a big problem.
Okay.
Now you're trying to talk to everybody.
All right.
Listen, if you are talking to Black men, and I am a Black man.
You are.
I would say, man, this is really good. But if I found out that you were trying to create something else because the first thing was for me and you want to do something for everybody else, I'm going to stop believing that you really care about me.
Okay. Well,
we can't build a brand with 2 different ideas. Okay. Branding. So listen, how odd would it be if McDonald's started selling lettuce wraps and kale fries? Weird, right?
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, they do McRibs and hamburgers, so it's different. But
they do McRibs and hamburgers, but because we sell junk food and we're proud of that.
Yeah.
We're proud that there's not a healthy thing in this whole restaurant. It's for my audience. And we're going to put it right in the hood and sell y'all these hamburgers and fries and apple pies. And that milkshake machine is never going to work. You know why? Because that's our brand. If they start branching out to say, oh, we got to get some of the vegan community, they will lose their whole business, period. Because now I'm not focused on the business model anymore. There's no way you can be focused on the business model when you're talking to two different audiences. And for one, Black men don't feel like they're stuck. So when you say, listen to this podcast about how to help Black men get unstuck, you're not talking to me because I'm a Black man and I don't feel stuck.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the right path.
Gotcha.
Now, you know they're stuck.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, because it's highlighting successful Black men, so those that feel that they can't do it can do it. And so
messaging is super confusing.
Okay.
The messaging in itself is just super confusing.
Okay.
So what I want you to do, this is what I want you to do. Here's your exercise. I want you to focus on solving a problem. One problem, one really, really big problem. But the caveat to that is you have to be solving the problem for an audience of people who know they deal with that.
Okay.
So if there's a relationship podcast where I'm only talking to people that are on the brink of divorce, that's a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm on the brink of divorce, am I going to listen to Social Proof?
Nope.
Not to solve that particular problem.
Nope.
Or if I've been addicted on and off to alcohol my entire life, I'm not watching Earn Your Leisure. I need a podcast that's specifically for that particular problem, and I will listen to it every single day. And that podcast delivers 5 minutes every day to give me a motivational word from somebody who understands, who have been there. Why is that the case? Because I know my audience, and there's a problem that I'm solving, and I'm making it a mission, which means I'll never stop and I'll be consistent. And you'll only know me for this one thing.
Okay.
That's how a brand is built.
Okay.
So I believe, and I haven't seen your episodes yet, but I believe your podcast is probably a bunch of episodes that can help Black men, but it probably doesn't solve a problem.
Okay.
Probably. And I don't know. I haven't heard it, but I believe it's probably not zeroing in on a specific problem, and it's so general. And we think it's niche because it's for Black people, but we're going to fix that for you.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
But I love you got the consistency down. Now we just got to put this consistency in the right direction to a major problem that people know they suffer from.
Okay.
Cool.
I've went on just posting. I've went over 1,000 days right now and not missed a day on posting. So I'm
Nah, you got that part down.
Yeah.
It's just the content and the branding is off, I'd imagine.
Okay. Okay.
I got you though. Stick with me for the next few days.
You got
Get
it.
you right, bro.
All right. I'm gonna be
Get
here.
you right. Good stuff.
But you didn't.
Let's go. You're muted. You're muted. Hold on. Unmute him real quick.
The question of what do I got to do to have you on my podcast after we fix it? Then I got to do
Fix
how many
it, yeah.
episodes?
Yeah, man. Your podcast ain't right yet. We gotta fix it.
Yeah.
And then we'll discuss that. Okay. I got you, bro. I got you. We'll work it out. All right.
All right.
Hold on. Are you went to school, you Dr. Bryant, or you call yourself Dr. Bryant?
No, I went to school. I have a doctorate in educational leadership.
Okay, got you. Because somebody tried to give me a doctorate too. They was like, hey, just come to my church and I'll just make you a doctor. So I always ask the doctors, like, which one are you? You got the real doctor?
Yo, I did a dissertation. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I had to do no dissertation. I said, I can't. I was like, I can't make it to the event. And they just sent it to me in the mail. And I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I'm technically Dr. Shands right now. Okay. Y'all are crazy. Rakeem, what's up?
What's up, brother? Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can.
I missed the first half of the class, so I just want to know how. I know it's recorded, so where can I find a recording there? So when I get off, I can watch it.
So, team, can y'all tell me, will it be on you? It'll actually be on YouTube tonight. So after we're done this, it'll be on YouTube. So go over there and check it out.
But I heard they were saying they was posting stuff in the community. Where in the community?
Support, please help me. I'm just the talent. Here. They got the.
Yeah, I was looking. I was checking my email. I thought I was gonna get something, but I didn't.
So
I'm
if
sorry.
if you didn't see anything in your inbox, make sure you check your spam. And then if not, I will drop the link the email address to support in the app for you, and then you can shoot us an email, okay?
What app?
Right here in the chat.
Oh,
I will drop support email
the
in the
Zoom
chat.
app. Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, what app are you talking about? Okay.
Let's
Appreciate
go.
that was it.
I got your back. For real. And
Appreciate
don't
that.
be
Appreciate
late.
that.
Why are you late in the first place? It's all good. It's all good. We're gonna get to the next. Just don't, you're on time tomorrow, okay? All right. See Nicole. What's up?
Hey, David, how you doing?
Hey, friend.
I have two parts to my question, A and B. It's the same question, but A and
Okay.
B. A is, what is the process to be on your hot seat? I am a seasoned consultant in the nonprofit space for over 26 years. And I would love to see how that could be, I could be a hot seat for that. And to see if that was something you would need in the social proof platform for nonprofits.
We're about to shoot on Wednesday, and people are applying. I don't know if we filled up the slots, but we're gonna build out for the next few weeks. So if you go on my Instagram, you'll see my last post was about applying, and we're gonna get as many as we can in over the next couple weeks. So just apply there.
Okay.
All right.
And then
I
my
got you.
other question is, I just started the
One
ministry.
question.
Oh, okay.
All
All
right, just
right.
go ahead. Just hurry up, Nicole.
Okay. I just started a ministry in January. Even though I've been in this nonprofit space for 26 years, I'm also like teaching on prophetic training and dreaming and things like that. And I was trying to
Okay.
decide, should I do the podcast in that area, or should I also just focus on the nonprofit?
Good. Come up with a problem that you're going to solve that you're really passionate about, and then come back and ask that question. What is one big problem that you know you're going to solve that you can solve with this podcast? Then come back tomorrow and let's talk about it.
Okay, I'll work on that. And I also
Well,
look for that Instagram for the hot seat.
there we
Thank
go.
you.
D Shands at D Shands,
At
SHANDS.
D Shands. Thank you so
Yep.
much.
Let's go. You're very welcome. All right. Okay. Two more, please, Nella.
David,
Two more.
David,
Just two.
David. It's time. It's time to cut it.
Oh, first off,
It is time. We said three more. We are at the three more.
one more. Hey, listen, hold on.
No,
he's already up. Sorry. I gotta get he's up already. He's already up. So fair day. I'm sorry. No, I would have stopped, but he's already here. So
now you know he was not already here.
I love y'all, man. Y'all don't understand. I love this stuff. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Dan?
Don't embarrass me. Make it quick and start with that question.
Okay. I'm getting ready to start my podcast. First of all, I'm glad to be here, man. Thanks a lot. And what I'm trying to do is solve the problems for kids. I just have a new book that I had the Art Success.
So you're just not going to start with this question no matter what, huh?
Okay,
just,
no.
I fought for you.
What do I need to work with as far as teaching the kids to teaching the group to reach their full potential? I have 5 of potential that I could, like passion and purpose, personal plan, and positivity. I think that if they activate those 5 pillars of potential, that it can help them to reach their full potential. So I'm
got it. So what audience? So you have 5 pillars that you want to teach kids. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
To reach their full potential.
Okay, I got you. And listen, I'm taking a little more time because you're my uncle. You know what I'm saying? I love you, my brother. I got your back. I got you.
That's good.
So you have these 5 pillars, and what is the problem that you're solving with these 5 pillars for this young audience?
The problem that I'm solving is that a lot of times younger people don't know exactly what their passions are or what they want to do in life. So I want them to start by identifying your passion and developing skill, and then After you get your passion, you need the why. You need to know why you really are so passionate
Like,
about.
whoa. You're giving me steps, but you're saying the problem is helping them identify their passion, correct?
Right. That's
Okay, good. So we just wrapped the whole show around helping people identify their passion. And we can do a couple ways. Of course, we're going to go through our 5 pillars, but we can also interview other people who have finally found their passion through maybe years of not finding it, or you are interviewing young adults who actually found their passion for the time being, and maybe helping them understand that you're going to be passionate for something for a while, but sometimes you get passionate about something else, and that's how it works.
Right.
So,
David, just one other statement. The other statement is, the reason why I say that is because I didn't always know my passion, and I've been
fair
shot.
day. Whoa. Hold on. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Answer to your question is, you're going to start a show around helping people find their passion.
Thank you, brother.
Okay? All right? That's it. I appreciate it, man. And now I gotta apologize to Nella. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. I thought I was gonna be quick, and he wasn't. Fair day. You wasn't quick. You're actually longer than everybody else. So I just
Your
thought
privileges to get
my
results.
bad. And I'm sorry, Nella. I'm sorry. It'll never happen again. Listen, family. This was just day 1. Now, tomorrow, we have a very, very special lesson for you. It is all about tech and AI. When I say tech, what type of equipment is going to give you the best result for your situation? There are expensive cameras and there's not so expensive cameras. You can use your cell phone. There's expensive lights and there's some lights that can get you by. We need to talk about the audio, all of the things that you need to do your show. It's all day tomorrow. Now, the second half of tomorrow is how you can leverage AI in your podcast production workflow so you don't have to hire a team. So somebody said, well, I didn't want to do the video because, man, editing is just a drag. I don't want to do it because I'd have to edit. Well, if you pay close attention tomorrow, you'll realize that AI does a lot of heavy lifting for you. But because you're so confused about how to use it, you don't move forward with it. So tomorrow is going to be a very, very, very powerful session. We have some really cool stuff going on tomorrow. In the pre-session, I have a gentleman coming who runs a podcasting agency, and he makes money from podcasters and people who want to get on podcasts. It's just an incredible concept. Some of y'all are here to learn about podcasting, but you realize I don't really want to do the podcast, but I see it's an industry that's growing and I want to make some money from it. So that's going to be the pre-session from 7:30. We're getting into how to make a beautiful show, how to make it look good, how to make it right, the foundational principles on any budget. And then the second half, 7:30 tomorrow, it is all about AI. And this is from the young lady who has been AIing my whole life. Like, she's helped my whole life with AI, with the heavy lifting. So if you guys are streaming on YouTube right now, you want to make sure you go to Launch Your Podcast Challenge or whatever link is pinned. You better get in VIP so you can get your questions answered. And I'm going to get y'all hands that's here. Let's take a screenshot of these hands. I'm going to make sure y'all get some questions answered. We got a whole week of this stuff. I got your back. All right, so let's lock in. I love you all. I can't wait till tomorrow's session. Let's get it. I'll see y'all